This video podcast is brought to you by Terragrin Fine Bamboo Flooring, Panels, and Veneer. Visit terragrin.com for more information.
Green architecture, eco-architecture seems to be something that's gaining traction these days. We hear a lot more about it than we have in previous years. Is this something that's really starting to take off?
Thankfully, yes. It seems like there is a lot of awareness building, and I think maybe the most important factor is that it seems to be becoming a marketable asset. You see residential developments going up where they really are being green, they're marketing it, and they're getting higher prices and higher rents for these units. So it seems to me that that is a sign that it's embedded in the industry and in people's consciousnesses both.
If somebody was going to design a house from the ground up and they wanted to incorporate green architectural elements, where would they start?
Well, I think the most important is the very simple siting of the house. What shape is it? How does it face the view, the light? How does it relate to prevailing winds? That's very simple stuff.
This is the shape and where you put it.
Right,
Something
yeah,
simple as that.
right. It's sort of totally passive traditional design principles, which doesn't cost you anything to do right. In a house that we designed in Willow, New York, a very simple, fairly low-cost house that was done with highly insulating materials, a lot of south-facing glass with masonry walls behind and stone floors that would collect the heat in the winter and help to keep the house warm. We buried the house in the hillside, so on the north side we had the insulation of the earth. All of those things cost very little, but they make the house very comfortable and require very little heat, actually. It's amazing the things that we've forgotten about in the last few generations.
Like windows that actually open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Once sort of after the Second World War, with the advent of air conditioning and other technical systems, it was possible to build buildings where you didn't need natural light. Before that, up to that point, that was your main source of light. So buildings always had relatively shallow footprints, so you were never too far from a window and so on. And we've kind of forgotten that. Then comes the fancier stuff, like having very good insulation, having high quality building systems, efficient heating and cooling, and then things like renewable energy generation, solar, maybe wind, water and waste treatment. I mean, all those things will become more and more important and more standard as time passes. But I think sort of in that order, that's what you do when you design a house.
Intuitively, everybody enjoys having plants, living matter around. But you're taking this to the next level and trying to integrate living organisms as architectural elements built into the structure.
Absolutely. This comes from many different sources, I suppose, but partly it's, here we are in New York City, which is a very dense vertical environment, and it seems to me we need to find ways to integrate plants into these densest projects where you can bring green up in the air where you wouldn't have it otherwise. We've done a housing project competition here in New York, which is a good example of a very dense part of the city where there's not a lot of room for horizontal green. So we designed this building with vines growing up the side of the building, leaving some windows open, covering others. What this does is it moderates the temperature, it kind of air conditions the space around the building. It's something that changes color over the course of the year, so as you look out your window you have an ever-changing view, both right at the plane of your window and in the distance.
And you see the natural world and the technological world coexisting happily.
Absolutely. I think we're all nature. I mean, downtown Manhattan is nature too. It's a different part. It's something made by man, which is part of nature. So I don't think we need to see this as an opposition. I think we need to try to combine the best of the sort of original planet with our human version of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, knowing how much architecture can do for the environment and can do for our health and sustainability in general, it's brilliant to know that people like you are working so hard on this. Thank you.
Thank you.